coast to coast move by Kendrick Davis. It's almost unstoppable, Joey, when he comes down like that.
He's KD!
Hello and welcome to Spark Arena. The New Zealand Breakers and the Sydney Kings going head-to-head. Two of the best guards in the league in Parker Jackson Cartwright and Kendrick Davis. But there is more than individual accolades on the line. Both of these teams looking to play finals basketball. The Sydney Kings, they can smell blood in the water with Melbourne United faltering in third position. And for the New Zealand Breakers, well, they need to win, and they need to win now to stay in touch with a top 6 berth. I'm Felix von Hoff. Next to me is the great man Damon Lowry. As we look at the Mitsubishi Motors ladder, there is still a huge amount to play for both of these teams.
Yeah, Felix, my man. It's every single loss has implications, ramifications, consequences, and repercussions. So every game is must win. The Breakers lost their last game at home. Last time these two teams met, they got a hold of the Kings. They need to get this one right now.
They certainly do, and they're going to be buoyed by the fact they got Parker Jackson Cartwright, who lit up the Sydney Kings the last time they played. It was a close win for the Breakers, 24 points, but from the three-point line, he was on fire. They're going to need that and a whole lot more today.
They always held him down a little bit until he got off late. He got off the chain late in that particular game, and he had Bull Quall guarding him. There's no Bull Quall tonight, and Kendrick seems to save some of his best work when he's going up against another point guard of his caliber. And Kendrick Davis and PJC will once again be worth the price of admission.
It's one of the best battles of the year going head-to-head. You can add Bryce Cotton into that group of some of the most electrifying players in the league. And as you mentioned, no Bull Quall, arguably the best guard defender in the league. Will PJC run rampant yet again, or will it be Kareem Lopez, the next star, who's looking to work his way up the draft boards, already sitting as a lottery pick on many an American draft board, Damon?
Yeah, mi amigo Kareem. We ain't gonna see him much. 11 games left in Kareem's NBL season, because he will be shaking Adam Silver's hand, Phoenix. While me and you are shaking hands, he's shaking the commissioner's hand in the association next year. I hope before he leaves, he gives us a steady diet of that kind of work. When he gets on the rim, Phoenix, there's not many players in the league that can go with him. He's got the size. He's shooting a three-ball at a great percentage. Love everything about the young man's game. And, yeah, we got to enjoy him while he's still here.
We've seen him just get better and better over the last couple of years as well. Very lucky to have him playing his trade in the NBL. What about Rob Baker II? Coach Coppin lit a fire under him. You would only assume by coming out in the media and saying what he's giving defensively is not what he wants. He hasn't fired back personally. He gets his chance tonight, but even his agent came out and said, hey, that's not how you operate.
Yeah, his agent should have came out and said, we want better defense. Maybe you can get him more money. But with all that being said, that's called coaching. Patrick Coppin just said what he needs to do better. That's all. He still got him in the starting five. He hasn't thrown him under the bus. He's not blaming the season on him. He just told him what he needed to get better at. So let's see how the young man responds.
Let's see if Rob Baker can respond tonight, especially on the defensive end. For the Sydney Kings, they're walking wounded. No Bull Quall, no Xavier Cooks. There is a reason they recruited that man. There is a reason they pay him the money that they do for situations like this.
Yeah, KD is going in here without some of his soldiers. Xavier Cooks is out. He's taking with him his 14 points, 5 rebounds and assists. Bull Quall is taken out of the game, so there's a lot of heavy lifting is on little KD. And what I'm saying, Felix, KD has never dropped 40 points in the NBL. He didn't do it in NBL25. He has not done it yet. Kendrick, come on, man.
Emphasis.
I want you to go full Rucker mode, full Rucker Park mode, and drop the 40-piece.
Emphasis on the yet. You just get a feeling, as I mentioned, no Xavier Cooks due to injury. Bull Quall looking like he's going to miss potentially the remainder of the season. Both of those huge outs. Kendrick Davis is going to have to put this team on his back, but the person who puts the commentary team on their back is none other than the superstar, the local Cam Glidden. Welcome into the broadcast, mate. What are you looking forward to most tonight?
Yeah, g'day, boys. Welcome to Spark. I'm looking forward to the same thing you're looking forward to. The KD versus PJC matchup. It was great down in Hamilton a few weeks ago. It's going to be great tonight. And the Breakers need PJC to be great. If they want to stay in touch with the play-in, they have to take care of the home venue, and they have to take care of teams that are wounded, and that's what the Kings are right now.
Now, Cam, you've been around this league a long time. Bull Quall and Xavier Cooks out. A lot of people will go straight away and say Cooks is, the biggest omission there, but how important is Bull Quall to this team?
Oh, he's so important. You saw what he did for PJC last time they played, hassled him all game, took him out of his game for much of it until the fourth. But I'm looking forward to seeing what Sydney Kings have in store. Xavier goes to the bench with injury. They're starting Tyler Robertson at the 4, so it gives them a much different look with a sharpshooter at the 4.
Well, I wish you could have seen the look on my man Damon Lowry's face there. Thank you, Cam Glynn. Or should I call you Aldi Tom Selleck at the moment? That mustache is just... Oh, I'll tell you what, we're gonna hear a whole lot more from you throughout of the night. Let's go to the starters right now from the Breakers. PJC at the point, Kareem Lopez, Isaiah Brockington, Rob Baker the second with a file in under him potentially, and Sam Meninga rounding it out at the 5 spot. The Sydney Kings, well, bit of a different lineup. As you heard Cam Glidden say, and we're going to zoom in right there. Tyler Robertson had a very good college career and has showed himself a couple of times this year. We'll see what he can pull out. Dellavedova, Maluat, Davis, and Tim Suarez. Damon, I know you're not meant to give any bias here, and I know you don't, but which way do you reckon this game's looking?
Man, it could go either way, obviously. I'm going to lean towards the home team, going with the Breakers in this one, but I would not be surprised either way. I'm already surprised that Jalen Galloway isn't in the starting 5. I don't want everybody in New South Wales to panic. He's still on the team. He's just coming off the bench.
An unruly tip to begin, and we're going to throw this one right back up. The Sydney Kings.
You cannot grab him when he goes for the ball.
Right now on the table, and Melbourne United just continuing to falter. Still 2 games in hand compared to United for the Kings, so a win here will go a long way. And the Breakers looking to get in touch with the top 6. We get that one underway, Justin. Again, a shot clock issue in venue will mean we won't have it on the broadcast screen, just having a little issue with the connection there via the venue. So I'll be keeping you through that one when we get a little low. Meninga, no luck. Kendrick Davis. Finds Dellavedova. He gets physical on his way to the rim and an easy put in.
You got to know that when Delly's coming at you, he is going to initiate severe contact first before he gets into any kind of shot. And he went right at Rob Baker early.
Coach Coppin questioned the defensive efforts of Rob Baker during the week, and not the start that he would have wanted to see from his big man. As we see a mismatch with Lopez, the next start down low. Nice double pump and a strong finish. We
saw last game the Breakers play. Kareem Lopez would fake that flex cut to come off on the perimeter to try to make a move there. But if he gets around the basket like that, he can have a massive night.
Dellavedova tentative from the outside. Robertson, that's what he does best. Can't get his account started. Suarez has that easy one rattled out.
And I saw Rob Baker contest 2 shots on the 1 possession. He's already coming out with way more defensive intensity. And Sam Meninga missed a lefty bunny. And this could be interesting, right? Oh, no.
Nice pass from Dellavedova, but a lucky save there. Off the knee.
And anytime we get Malawatch in open court by himself,
shot clock just being worked up here, under 18 seconds. Parker Jackson Cartwright going head-to-head with Kendrick Davis, one of the best matchups in the league. Davis. Nice pass down low. Dellavedova gets it tipped away. Another turnover, and Davis will take it the opposite direction. Maluat wide open. That one's no good, way off.
We've seen a couple of good defensive possessions and a couple of sloppy turnovers at the same time. Both teams yet to find their rhythm.
Hasn't been the prettiest start to a basketball game. Brockington, heavily contested, passes it.
Coach Pettery Coppin will be happy to see that. Isaiah Brockington has only been shooting 25% from downtown. He gets his first one to go.
Crowned with a nickname off the preseason from you.
Yeah.
Hasn't quite lived up to his preseason expectations, but he played some very valuable minutes throughout the year in a Breakers team that can play some very good basketball. And Suarez gets it tipped away by the next star.
Lopez said no bueno.
Great confidence there from the young fella to go up and contest. Suarez right at the rim, and he comes off better for it.
When was the last time we seen Brazil going to war with Mexico?
I'm not sure, but the way
It
the
was
world,
an international meeting at the ring.
the way the world's going, it could be in the next couple of weeks, Damon. I'm not sure. Because there's a couple of conflicts that we didn't expect in 2026. Shout out to Greenland. BJC. Nice skip pass. Lopez with a good fake. Just gets a little too fancy with it.
Yeah, you can just see the athleticism on Lopez.
His body's come a long way over the 2 years that he's been in the NBL.
His best basketball is probably 4 or 5 years ahead of him.
Plenty of time and development left for the next start. Davis. Robertson from deep. His second attempt, that's good.
Been shooting the ball well all season, Tyler Robertson. 47% from downtown. That man does not hesitate. Hasn't always been featured in the rotations, but he got his start tonight. As Parker gets on the rim, draws himself a foul. Going to the line for 2.
Let's go. Thanks, Tim. Thanks, Timmy.
Jackson Cartwright. His first chance to get on the board in the game, which you mentioned in the pre-game. No ball qual. Makes a case for best defender in the league.
Just cruel, man. It's just the basketball has been robbed. Not having Bull out there, just his defense all season. And you said arguably the best perimeter defender. I would say the best perimeter defender. Then you got John Brown III, best interior defender. And now the Kings got to find other ways to get stops without Bull out there.
Can't connect on the second. Baker will try to wrestle it in. Can't.
Interesting that Parker goes to Delly instead of Kendrick, because you know Delly's going to try to bully him at some stage.
Robertson, he's been aggressive early. Nice fake. And an easy lay-in. Tyler Robertson off to a hot start, getting his start tonight. Lopez, nice.
Come on, man.
Works his way through the rim, almost made contact with every single body on the Sydney Kings team on the way through.
Well, we saw Kareem make that move last game. Well, he made a spin move on the baseline. We thought, how did he get out of that? How did he find himself to the basket? This is just how nimble this dude is.
And that's the sort of game, Damon, that's really going to show itself in the NBA with a lot more spacing on the court. A defensive 3-second. One thing that he's very good is slicing through the paint. And you look at players that are able to do that in this environment.
Has to shoot for him. He's bleeding from the mouth.
Often translate very well now. One of the issues with being that physical is sometimes you draw blood.
Kareem.
Sub has to shoot. Sub up. Here we go, guys.
TNA's Sangria.
Subs coming in to shoot.
Dead lip La Peace. He has blood on his lip. That's what I said. Everybody who speaks Spanish knows exactly what I said.
All right, guys, line up.
I hope they do.
Replay center, flex 7 is to shoot.
Ruben Tarangi checks in for these minutes. Ice cold, gets Kareem's free throws.
At least it's happening early in the game, not late in the fourth. Tarangi straight off the bench, converts a double. Talk about a guy that's really come of age during this season, Cullen Davidson. Had a remarkable run with the Breakers. A guy that's just sort of bounced around and had sparse opportunities here and there. Has really showed himself as a crucial piece to this Breakers team this season.
Carter's not going to win Most Improved, but he's going to be featured in the votes for sure. Having a great year, earned a lot of the trust from Coach Kopp because of what he does on the defensive end.
Galloway into the game for the Kings. It's 10 seconds on the shot clock. Noy, never afraid to pull the trigger, hesitates that time. Finds Suarez, draws contact and one.
Avoided the strip that Parker Jackson Cartwright nearly got him. Made the extra pass and got Tim Suarez a bucket in Phoenix. This is what's going to be huge for the remainder of the season. Well, we don't know how long Xavier Cooks is going to be out for, but Tim Suarez has to simply not get into foul trouble and give Brian Gorgian a minimum of 25 to 28 solid minutes.
25 minutes for a big is almost akin to 48 minutes back in your day.
No, it's not.
Damon?
Big man got to get a union at some point.
Kings lead by 2, early stages of the first term. Tarangi pressured. Just managed to keep it in the half. 8 seconds on the shot clock. Menenga with his go-to baseline spin. Throws it down on the head of Suarez.
The disrespect. New Zealand got beef with Brazil.
Well, if they didn't, they do now. Davis looking to answer back. Good call by the official. A little shuffle of the feet as we look at the Amy replay on this one. Sam Menenga. The scout is, do not let him go baseline. Suarez pays the full price on that occasion.
Full price, the vertical. Put him in the Mitsubishi Motors logo and just punished him.
An early contender for Tangerine, dunked it around. Come overtime on Monday. Menenga wants it back. Suarez won't let him get it. Noy wants the mismatch. PJC will get in front, well defended.
Why won't Parker Jackson Cartwright go to KD? He's fighting for his life on every other assignment out there. Giving up all the size in the world.
Noy gets a nice land to the rim and scoops it in.
And that's another guy that Brian Gordon needs a lot of buckets out of because they got to make up for Xavier Cooks being out. And Kawhi Noy, as we know, he will not hesitate.
Perfectly capable of putting up 30 points. Tarangi off the back iron. Galloway. Noy been aggressive since checking in and can't complete that one or get his own miss.
That is a great matchup. Good patience by KD because if Parker's going to stay on Kawhi Noy, that's where the ball should go every trip down the floor.
Kendrick Davis yet to trouble the scorers. Davison puts Galloway in the splits. And Galloway recovers and will get the board. Straight through the middle. Nice little fake out to Maluach, who put that one off the iron. Brockington pulls up. Bottom of the net.
That's where he likes to get in that mid-range because he's going to elevate over everybody in the competition. His accuracy hasn't always been on, but that's how dangerous he is.
Nice pass there from Kendrick Davis over the defense. And a nice finish from Maluach.
So it looks like Petrie Coppin has decided if we lose, it's not going to be because of Kendrick Davis going for 30. Everybody else is going to have to beat us.
Well, considering the outs of Xavier Cooks, it's a fair strategy to play. Suarez denying Menenga.
Travel. Ruben Tarangi got to be able to get that ball into Sam Menenga. That's the second time that he's posted up on that side. And Ruben Tarangi just couldn't get the ball there to him.
Well, there's always a thought that you don't give the ball to the big when he's that far out. He's posting that far out. But Sam Menenga's game, he's proven that he is more than capable of, especially against a defender like Suarez, of taking him from the three-point line. So we're in the same boat here, Damon.
We just saw what he did to him a couple possessions ago. He hasn't been able to get another touch.
Hunter Goodrick into the game. He's played some really good minutes after coming here as an injury replacement. Norway continue to attack the rim. Can't get the finish there. Webster brought into this Breakers team late. Menenga.
Oh, that's
draws the contact.
Good luck, Hunter Goodrick.
It's on the rip through.
And Hunter's been playing some great basketball in his role.
Baseline.
In his bag-up role minutes. Not getting a whole lot of minutes, only 9 a game, but he is so much more important now due to the Cooks injury. But there's no way he can go one-on-one to guard Sam Menenga.
Well, it won't be a shooting foul here. It'll be considered on the rip-through, which did look, Damon, like he was ripping through to shoot it as a left-hander, but...
Pop is like, what are you honestly going to shoot it?
Brockington. Webster, potent offensively when he's on his game. That one's off the back. Daly uses all of that muscle, gets in there and throws it into the bottom of the rim. Brockington heavily contested. Front iron.
Just can't hit shots. He's even shooting 1 of 7 from downtown.
Dellavedova saw some contact on the drive.
Thanks, Deli. Black 90. Side both ways. Side ball, mate.
Sean Bruce into the game for the Kings, the professional agitator, one of the best in the game to do it, at getting under the opposition's skin. He's made a career of it.
The two-time champion, strong-nosed defender.
Hit some big shots throughout his career as well. Noy just being able to get into the paint with ease at the moment. Can't finish that time. PJC in transition. Too easy.
It was only a matter of time before we saw a full court, one-man fast break. Parker's going to find a way to keep the scoreboard ticking. He was quiet last game.
Nice penetration from Galloway. And again, a reminder, the shot clock in venue is having some trouble, so we can't get the connection through to broadcast at the moment. Hopefully have that fixed at some point. Lopez working. 10 seconds remain on the shot clock. PJC, nice pass. And an and one to Rob Lowe.
Parker making something out of nothing. And that is Hunter Goodrich's second personal foul.
Which is not the position you want to be in with Xavier Cooks ruled out with injury.
We wouldn't have thought at the beginning of the season that if Hunter Goodrich was in foul trouble early, the Kings would be in trouble. But they are, because Tim Suarez has to play big minutes. Now, right now, this is what we call small ball. I'm not even going to put a number on Tyler Robinson. I'm not going to say he's playing the 5. He's just out there.
Rob Lowe completes. Under a minute and a half in his first term. 1 point lead to the Kings. Daly with a nice cut back door.
He grabbed him around the waist.
He fouled by Webster on the way through.
Black 90. Yeah, on the floor. Ain't gonna happen right there. So
Ty Webster, someone we've just seen sparingly, quite have his best time with the Wildcats, and has come into the team late here. He's a remarkable talent. Both the Webster brothers are.
No doubt about it. Hey, Cam, if you was playing right now, would you be playing the 5 spot or the 4 spot for the Kings?
Oh, man. No, I don't even want to imagine what it would look like if I played right now. But, hey, you can tell these Kings have worked on that pack defense, making sure they're protecting their big guys, because they're obviously undersized, and they're doing a good job pretty much so far this game in the keeping the big guys out of the paint, I think.
It's the only way to do it, and I'll tell you what, Tyler Robinson was showing glimpses of Cam Glenn in the past year. If he was out there running the 4 and 5, he'd be doing just that, cashing it from outside. PJC, baseline. Finds Lopez from NBA range. Oh, not quite the NBA finish.
And that's a good point Cam made, because you can see the Sydney Kings are showing Parker a wall in the half court. They saw what happened last game. If you can crowd the paint, limit his options.
I'll tell you what's nasty work.
What's that?
When you airball a shot and the cameraman just zooms directly into you for about 4 seconds. That's some people just want to watch the world burn, don't they? Let's cut to the close-up. Robinson. Galloway off the leg, fighting to keep it in bounds, does. Plenty of time left on the shot clock. Kings looking to increase this lead, heading into Quat Noy with an easy lane through the middle. There's a fair amount of contact on the way through.
They might have caught an illegal screen.
Looks like it's been either called an illegal screen or a hook.
Black.
I mean, that foul could have been called right there from Carlton Davidson. Well, that's a mystery.
Well, that one we're going to send upstairs. Shot clock is off. 10 seconds remain in the quarter. Can the Breakers eat into the margin? Jackson Cartwright deep into the paint, fades away, puts it up, rattles off. Galloway will rein in the final rebound, and a 6-point lead to the Sydney Kings. A lot on the line here for both teams. Second quarter not far away. You got to make it. Welcome back to Spark Arena. You see the next star going upstairs, defending that one. And then Suarez gets a taste of almost his same medicine on the other end of the floor. An action-packed first term has the Kings lead by 6. Damon Lowry, which way are you leaning at the moment? Who's playing better basketball? It's easy to say the Kings, but the Breakers have missed some wide-open shots.
Yeah, I'm going to still say the Kings. They're winning by 6, and Kendrick Davis has yet to attempt a shot, has no points. They're winning a rebounding count, doing a great job keeping the Breakers off the glass, and the Breakers got all those 6'10" guys. But they have 0 offensive rebounds, so full credit to the Kings in this early stage.
Let's go courtside to Cam Glidden. What did you hear in the New Zealand huddle?
Yeah, Coach Cobb, boys, making sure that they have a variety of ways to get the ball inside. Sydney Kings doing a good job of keeping it out of the paint, and Coach Cobb trying to give them different options to make sure Menenga stays a focal point. But to me, I think the Sydney Kings are doing a great job, and the New Zealand Breakers are going to have to start shooting better from the perimeter to stay in this one.
Got to make shots. It's a make-or-miss league. NBL26, and there's Kareem with...
PJC with 5 on the shot clock. That one rattles out. Bairstow will pick up the board. Tarangi will have a chance at it, and that one will bounce off. And Lopez with another offensive rebound for the Breakers.
Now, Kareem got Kendrick Davis on him. He didn't get the passes he should have gotten. He got about to post up, and Ruben Tarangi ran in inexplicably and brought his man into the equation. Little things like that, the Breakers got to clean up.
Kendrick Davis, the second leading scorer in the league right now, still yet to trouble the scorers. Yet to attempt a field goal, which is remarkable considering the outs, and we said that he needs to be a focal point here. He needs to keep the team on his back. Kings still playing good basketball, but they're doing it without their superstar at the moment.
And you got to credit the Breakers for that, because he's getting double-teamed on any ball screen action. They're going to make somebody else beat you.
Davis left open.
You can't relax, though. Got lucky on that one.
Kendrick Davis can't punish him with his first field goal of the night. PJC will lose it.
Oh, no.
Nice bucket there.
That's one of the hardest things to do. Be going full speed like you're going to go for a layup and then somehow shot fake and not blow out an Achilles. Good job on Malawach getting himself to and one.
Malawach, really a guy that's come into his own as well throughout the season. Played some really strong minutes for the Kings. Getting his opportunity more and more with injury now.
Playing the 17 minutes a game, and Brian likes everything about him: his athleticism, his defensive ability, and he can score the ball.
Kings lead out to 9, the biggest of the ball game. Baker, can he cut it to 6? He can't. Davis into the paint, thrown away. And the Breakers are out the other way.
Sean Bairstow did a good job initially at 6'8", making Kendrick slow down, and Kareem came and finished it off.
Lopez, a nice pass for better defense from Robertson.
Defense. Hey, basket. Hey, basket. Hey, basket. Side.
2 fouls on Lopez. He sits. Feel like they wasted some opportunities out there with Kareem on the floor. Do you honestly think there's anybody on the Kings roster that can guard Kareem around the rim? He's 6'10".
I think the Kings are doing a very, very good job, as Cam Glidden said before, that pack defense. Packing the paint in, so that three-point attempt is off, but Kouat-Noi again fight for his own rebound. 3 in 1 possession and flexes to his own bench. Kouat-Noi, every time the Kings need someone to step up through injury, it's Kouat-Noi that does it. You always think he's a guy that comes off the bench, but my God, the damage that he could do as the star of a team.
He scores in bunches and scores quick and from a variety of ways. He's a mismatch problem. And do you know how happy his super coach team is? Do you know how happy his super coach is right now?
You're not beating a small village again, are you? Well, speaking of someone who's not small by any stretch, Cam Glidden caught up with Tim Suarez pre-game.
All right, Tim, the Sydney Kings defense has picked up the last month. Like, incredible to watch. You lose Bull Qual, you lose Xavier Cooks. How do you feel the gaps on that end of the floor?
Yeah, no, definitely 2 very important players, unfortunately for both for us. But, you know, he's just a great guy to have in the locker room and all his energy. So excited to have him around. And obviously Xavier, a couple of games. But I think a lot of it has been the team effort. Just everybody been able to do a good job in helping each other out. So I think that we'll be able to continue that, even though, unfortunately, those 2 guys aren't with us.
Yeah, this is your 4th game against the Breakers this year. You get 2 big wins at home. You lose to Hamilton earlier on in the year. How do you get this one on the road and steal it?
Yeah, I think it's important for us to stick to the game plan. They got good players, obviously can make great plays. So we just got to make sure that we're on our toes and ready to fight.
Yep, they're doing a good job of fighting. Small ball is working. Tim Suarez has not got in foul trouble, which is huge. He doesn't have to trouble the scorer, Phoenix. He's got plenty of scorers around him. He just needs to be able to anchor the D and just rebound.
Frees up the game of Xavier Cooks as well. PJC into the paint, can't find anything. 10 seconds on the shot clock. Cartwright wide open. Breakers' troubles from the outside continued.
1 for 12.
28% right now before that one.
They do play the
Nice
home
pass
game.
there, it's tipped off. Kendrick Davis tries to thread the needle. And a great job from Parker Jackson Cartwright in the hole. Great pass from Dellavedova. Maljewicz wants the and one, doesn't get it. Really starting to stamp his authority on this game.
If the Breakers cannot find a way to get Sam Meninga not just involved, but just get him the ball, it's going to be real hard to win.
Just spins around, almost a remarkable finish. Daly. Easy pass to Suarez and a total breakdown on the defensive end. Starting to get worrying for the Breakers.
The wheels.
Oh, they're on, but the nuts are loose.
They got no tread on them at the moment.
Meninga.
Double team straight away.
Doubled on the post. Finds his way through baseline. And he'll step out of bounds on the way through.
And Kendrick is saying to Tim Suarez, you can't let him go baseline. So
easier said than done.
They got to know. So Tim Suarez, Sam Meninga's getting doubled on post catches from here on out. 7
turnovers to 2. Tells the story of the game right now for the Breakers. Just struggling to look after the ball. You mix that with poor shooting from the outside, and you get a scoreboard. It looks like what we've got now. Davis gets past Davis and a nice scoop and finish.
Parker thought about coming over to double and didn't. And trusted Carlin on Katie Island. Not a good idea.
It is not an island if you want to become a citizen. And another 8th turnover for the game in the early part of the second term here for the Breakers.
When you got more turnovers, 8, than made field goals, 6. That's how you get down 17.
Doesn't take a mathematician to work out that that calculation is not winning. Davis up the top. He likes the matchup with Davison for that reason.
Why would you, if you're Petri Coppin, you can't like that matchup. I know it might sound like a good idea. Let me put the athletic 6'6" guy on the little guy. But the little guy is that much better.
The Sydney Kings just showing they can do it without Bull Quoll and Xavier Cooks here. And Kendrick Davis just with the 5 points. Can he add to it here? He can't. Fantastic team defense so far from the Kings. Nice pass to Tarangu, who blows the layup.
A rare Sydney King breakdown, and the Breakers couldn't make them pay, and then they give this up.
Sean Bruce blows that layup on the other end, and right now for the Breakers, still 5 minutes to go in the second term, and they can't get into the change room quick enough. Menenga fouled on the way to the hoop.
And that's what Sam Menenga's got to do. He's got to make a quick move because the double team is coming. The Breakers have yet to score in 5 minutes of action. That is high-quality defense by the Kings, taking away their good stuff, double-teaming Sam, showing Parker Jackson Cartwright a wall. That's the formula for beating this team.
And another 9th turnover for the New Zealand Breakers.
Timeout, Sydney Kings.
And a mercy timeout from the Sydney Kings.
Well, I don't know why Brian would call the timeout. Maybe just to laugh at it. I don't know.
20-point lead. And right now, if you're the New Zealand Breakers, how do you get out of this rut? You're a coach, Damon. You coach with the 3-on-3 women in the Olympics. Turnovers are turnovers in any format of basketball. What do you do? How do you get your team out of a rut right now? Because it's not like saying with shooting where you just, hey, keep out there, keep going out there and keep shooting the ball. Eventually it'll go in.
Let's see what Cops got to say first.
Finish the plays, fucking play defense. All stupid things. We can't force things. They are packing the paint. We have to be ready then to shoot the ball. Brooke, they go under here, Brooke back, take the ball. Here, on the baseline. Now every pick and roll with Davis, doesn't matter. You two can switch. Everybody else, if they see screen, we are up, up, up. We're going through, we show, and we go. Hey, we go to, hey, pay attention. We go 2 sides for Brock. This side, Brock. Left side, 2 sides. Then we go to the zone, 5 up, 5 side.
The one thing I took out of that was when he said, don't do stupid things. Because that'll get you an L quick. If you can just be a little smarter with your decision-making on both ends of the floor, that would help.
Certainly does. You download the new NBL app as well, new and improved. If you want to get all the highlights, scores, every single thing you want NBL is right in that little app. And your ticket to it is that QR code. Or you can just head to the App Store and type in NBL app, and you'll be able to get it there to keep all up to date with the great league as we approach finals. You're going to want that. Let's go down to courtside. Cam Glidden.
Real cool, calm and collected. Just worrying about maybe the Breakers picking up the pressure, but I've got a question for you guys. Is it old school to use a whiteboard marker on the board, or is it old school to use magnets? I'm not sure. Like, as an aspiring coach, Gorge is out there flicking magnets around. I'm like, am I doing something wrong with a marker?
I'll tell you what's old school, Cam. Old school is Lindsay Gay's using coins on the floor.
And
That's old school.
What's a coin?
The coins was the early 90s, late 80s.
Noy cashes it from the corner, and right now things go from bad to worse for the Breakers.
My goodness, and that was heavily contested by 6'10" Rob Baker II, but it don't matter when Kwap Noy is in that frame of mind, which he often is.
Noy leads all scorers with 11 and gets the rebound there. And you know, with his attitude, he would have seen Bull Quoll out, he would have seen Xavier Cooks out, and he said, hey, this is where I really come into my own, because he's not a selfish player. And an offensive foul will wipe that basket away. Kendrick wants the replay, but Georgian will most likely decide against it.
Death, taxes, and Kendrick wanting a replay.
And
it's going to happen.
A timeout here. And
I think he might have caught Brockington.
And Georgian's going to trust Kendrick here, and it's going to be a coach's challenge.
With a 23-point lead, why not? Or
a 23-point lead in today's basketball is worth very little, Damon. Teams can fight their way back. We've been involved in a couple of New Zealand games where they've been trailing heavy and have come back to win. But the Sydney Kings right have a stranglehold in this game. Challenge has been called, what I believe was an offensive foul, a hooking foul, as we look towards the replay here.
I mean, come on, man. That's just...
I think Kendrick, Brian Georgian might be having a fairly stern call with Kendrick.
This ain't a foul for mine. This is just incidental. It's just incidental.
It may be incidental, but it's outside of the cylinder.
He's moving, man. You need both arms to move. It's like, that's just the price of doing business, as far as I'm concerned.
There's certain players, Damon, if you allowed that to happen every single time, there'd be 14 concussions per game.
Different if it was an elbow or
No, I agree with you that it wasn't intentional by any stretch. But an unsuccessful challenge here. Georgian.
I'll tell you what.
Georgian probably siding with you there, Damon, that he still didn't think it was a foul.
The video guy for the Kings, he's like, oh, God, no. Can I at least come to New Zealand and have a rest? He is under the most pressure of any guy in the league.
It is a 22-0 run. Going into the end of the first quarter, into this quarter, 17-0 in this quarter alone, scoreless. The New Zealand Breakers in front of their home fans. And Davison breaks the drought in emphatic fashion.
Wow, thank God for that, because Sean Bruce fell asleep. Davison snuck behind, he put his elbows over the rim, caught that one easy.
Great pass by Brockington, just the raw athleticism of Colin Davison. And is that a little momentum switch that the Breakers need? Bruce, 6 seconds on the shot clock. Daly, guarded by Brockington. Signature fade away and a good defensive possession from the New Zealand Breakers to back up the emphatic slam on the other end.
And that's what they need more of, defensive stops like that. Daly went to his bully move, but Brockington wasn't having it.
The crowd has been taken out of this game. A couple of strong possessions could bring them back in. Menenga can't finish that one. Noy gets that one swatted away, and Suarez will get the rebound, and he'll head to the line for one extra.
Okay, we got one shot. Let's line up.
Check out the Amy replay of a nice pass by Brockington and Colin Davison. Fantastic play call there by Petteri Koppinen.
All you gotta do is put it anywhere near the square. Not many people are up there.
Had some really strong moments, Colin Davison, this year for the Breakers. Provided a spark off the bench at times when they've desperately needed it, this being one.
Hey, Cam, I don't know if you can get into the locker room of the Breakers at halftime, but it'd be good if you could. You might want to get in there before them and move all the furniture out.
Oh, you're not wrong, mate. This halftime can't come quick enough, but it's not the disturbing thing for me is it's not like it looks like they're working really hard and the shot's just not falling. The body language is just really poor. It's almost like it's too hard at the moment. They really need to change that.
Lopez back into the game for the Breakers. Tries his luck from deep, off the rim.
1 for 15 from 3. The trivia question is, who's the one Breaker to hit the 3? That was Isaiah Brockington early in the game. But
and it was, I believe, almost second shot of the game. They were sitting at 50% at that point.
And you got to take open threes. I'm not one of those guys that says, no more threes. Well, you know what, if we open, we're professional basketball players, we got to take them.
Suarez looks to go through the chest of Menenga.
This is where they got to live in transition. Some easy offense, hopefully.
Lopez trying to work his way through the paint. Meninga, the baseline is open. That's his go-to. Can't get the finish over a couple of defenders.
And he did the right thing, making a quick move before the double could get there, but he just couldn't finish.
And Noy just so easy and so silky as he goes to the rim. Can't help but smile after that. Even he knows it was nice.
I was calling for KD to go for the big 30-piece, 40-point game. It might be Kawhi.
White leads all scorers, and he's perfectly capable of going for 40 on any given night. He's that type of scorer. Leads the game with 13 at the moment. PJC, nice fake baseline. Finally, Lopez in the most unconvincing of fashion. Finally breaks the three-point drought. 2 for 16 from the three-point line.
Kawhi Noy got caught helping out of that corner. Tim Suarez, no good from deep.
Big couple of possessions here for the Breakers. Looking to go into halftime with a little bit of confidence and momentum. Meninga off the front iron. PJC from the mid-range. That's off.
I mean, there's nothing the coach can do when your team just can't make a shot. 27%, that's a mid-range shot Park would normally make. But on the defensive end, they've given up 22 points. The Kings seem to be getting buckets with ease. And Sam Meninga sits out for the rest of this half.
Just 11% from the three-point line of the Breakers as PJC tries to thread the needle there. Lopez will draw the contact. The Sydney Kings on the other end, they've been doing it on the inside. Only the full-made threes on their end, so there's only a 2-shot difference between the two teams from the outside.
And this is the most vulnerable we've seen the Kings. Teams got to take advantage. Hopefully Xavier Cooks is not out for long.
Still got the floor.
But without Bull Quall, and apparently there's not going to be any replacement player at this stage anyway, filling in. So this is what the Kings going to roll with.
Ten seconds on the shot clock, plenty of time to work with. Brockington can't hit his second of the game. Lowe will get the offensive board. And the Sydney Kings just doing a fantastic job of protecting the paint. Lowe.
And contesting shots from Jalen Galloway.
Galloway, nice full court pass and an even better flush from Galloway. Sydney Kings bringing their A game on the road to Spark Arena. And a Tangerine timeout with less than a minute remaining in the first half. You've got to credit the Sydney Kings, Damon. We're talking about New Zealand shooting woefully from the three-point line at 2 for 17, but a lot of it is due to the Sydney Kings just protecting the paint and forcing them into these shots on the outside.
The defensive game plan is working to perfection. Show Parker Cartwright a wall, I should say.
That's the one. We got
double team Sam Meninga and dare everybody else to beat you. And they right now don't have any other scores. And on the offensive end, the Kings, everything's working.
Oh, you excited for this?
Is it on a Wednesday? Is
I believe the final's on a Sunday.
Is it a suitcase full of cash involved?
That's it. Well, there's always a suitcase full of cash involved if you're talking to the right people, Damon. But in this one, big game, bigger stakes. Scan that QR code, because if you're a New Zealand Breakers fan, chance to come to the mainland. Head over to the Gold Coast on a Sunday. It's a beautiful time of the year. The weather's going to be fantastic. Potentially, I think the Breakers are going to be playing in that final for up to $400,000.
Well, hopefully they can score more points on the Wednesday in the quarter to win some quarters than they are right now.
This is probably not the game to be advertising them in particular. But there will be another team playing, potentially the Adelaide 36ers.
Yeah, we think we're definitely going to see Adelaide on the Gold Coast.
What a season they're having, 36ers. It's all good and well to put the money together and buy a team like they've got, but we see that all the time. We see teams put together these championship rosters and not be playing their way that they're playing. PJC puts the Jets on. Lopez can't rattle another one in the same fashion.
They're living with that. They're giving, like, normally you wouldn't help out of that strong side corner, but they say, you know what? We'd rather pack the paint on Parker and dare you guys to make threes.
Galloway. strong drive. He'll go to the line for 2.
Like 6.
And this is a game I like to see how Jaden Galloway responds, because 95% of Australia would have thought once Bull Quall went out that he was going to start. He doesn't start. Malawat starts. All right, Xavier Cooks goes out, and we think now he's going to start. Nope, Tyler Robinson starts. Doesn't matter. Jaden Galloway is going to come out there and play his minutes, play as hard as he can. And Brian's still got a lot of depth in that athletic small forward position.
Well, not only does he have a lot of depth, but he's got a lot of energy as well, though. That man is running up and down the sideline, and God knows how long he's going to be doing it for.
We're going to miss him when he's gone one day, but
Let's not even talk about it.
No, he loves coaching like none other.
5 seconds on the clock. Nice pass there. Galloway draws the hard contact. He'll go to the line here. Good foul from Rob Lowe, preventing the layup.
Okay, we're going to have 2 here. Here we go.
What is the biggest halftime deficit the Breakers have ever had at home? I mean, you're down 27, soon to be 29. I mean, Kawatno and Tyler Robinson had the same amount of points as the entire Breakers team.
It's been nothing short of a disaster quarter for the Breakers, who trailed by 6 at quarter time and looked well in this ball game, just missing a couple of wide open shots from outside. It easily could have been a tied up game at the quarter. And the lowest first half score from any team this season, 25 points, Damon. So barring some sort of 4-point miracle, this is going to be statistically the worst half offensively from a team this year. And the New Zealand Breakers, who are fighting to stay in touch with the top 6, have produced their worst quarter of the season, the worst quarter of the season, and Coach Coppinen to be a fly on the wall of halftime. If he was happy to rip his players in the media, then God knows what's going to happen behind closed doors. But Damon, I hate to say it, they might just need it.
Patrick Coppinen doesn't deserve this. you know he's a good mate of mine. He does not deserve this. I mean, no team, no players are trying to miss shots, but when you got 2 of 18 from 3, 8 of 35 from deep, I mean, what can you say?
It's all about the Sydney Kings right now, and Cam Glidden's down there with Tyler Robinson.
I'm with Ty Robinson, like you said, Felix, mate. Xavier Cooks out, you start at the 4, very different look, wet ball from the 4, and you start off with 2 big threes and get this game going your way. How does it feel to be playing these big minutes?
No, it's been good. Obviously, I've been dying for opportunity. I felt like I put some good games together. Hopefully X is back soon and he can kind of slot back into that and I can play my role again. But I think we've done a great job defensively to hold a high-power offense to 21 points.
Yeah, you can't get complacent in the second half, but what do you think Coach Gordon's message is going to be at the second half to make sure you come out of here with what looks like could be a significant win? Continue
to box out and rebound. I think we've done a good job besides kind of that end there where PJC got a couple offensive rebounds. So besides that, keep the ball in front. And they're probably one of the worst three-point shooting teams in the league, so continue to kind of play cat and mouse with that.
Keep going, mate. Good on you.
The Sydney Kings undermanned, wounded. It doesn't matter. They stepped on the throat of the New Zealand Breakers in that second quarter. Can the Breakers bounce back? A 29-point lead. We'll wrap it up on the other half of this break. What a second quarter performance from the Sydney Kings, stepping on the throat of the New Zealand Breakers. That right there is the one singular highlight of the second quarter for the New Zealand Breakers. As we speak right now, their coach Petteri Koponen is most likely throwing whatever is not bolted down at his playing group in the locker room, Damon Lowry, because it's a 29-point lead to the Sydney Kings. It was 6 at quarter time. And as Cam Glidden said, you'd be disappointed as a Breakers fan because a lot of it just didn't look like they were given the effort needed for a team that's chasing the 6th spot.
They're only one game in the loss column behind the 6th spot, the Tasmania Jack Jumpers. If the Tasmania Jack Jumpers lose to Adelaide, they are in the exact same spot. So right now, the effort they're showing, it looks like they're playing hard, but they're missing everything. They're missing shots. Nobody can get any kind of offensive rhythm going, and they're turning the ball over at an alarming rate.
And they're playing against a team, barring Kendrick Davis, Kwatnoy and Xavier Cooks, who are out for the Sydney Kings, arguably their two most influential overall game players. So it is remarkable that both of those players are out right now, and what we're seeing is what we're seeing.
It's literally the next man up mentality. Tyler Robinson said he's been chomping at the bit for an opportunity. So he starts, what does he do? 8 first quarter points. Kwatnoy comes off the bench, immediately gets on the scoreboard and on the rebounds. They're playing a good brand of basketball. They know how to play small. The Breakers don't know how to play tall. And yet they somehow find themselves in this unbelievable hole down by 29. And this man right here on screen is just doing whatever he wants.
Every single time that the Kings need a scoring punch on games where they're missing players, it's Kwatnoy that steps up. We've seen him go on runs that no player in the history of the NBL has done via the bench. We saw that last season, multiple 30-point games, and he's doing it again here. He's an incredible talent. What a luxury that the Sydney Kings have him coming off the bench.
Kwatnoy could start for every single team in this league. Kwatnoy is good enough. He could be in another country making probably 3 times the cash.
Don't tell him that. Don't
but
tell
yet
him
he
that.
is here. Look at his Blackmore shot chart. 13 points on 50% shooting and 6 rebounds. Look, he's always been a scorer. He's always had unbelievable, unbreakable faith in his ability, and he's a mismatch problem. He can post you up if you're too small. He can take you on the perimeter off the dribble if you're too tall. He is the perfect kind of an offensive player that fits Brian Goorjian's system.
We were all surprised to see Tyler Robertson come out there in the starting lineup, but he's proved Brian Goorjian a genius.
He's one of those guys, like all season, he just waits his turn. And he's not one of those guys that's on the bench pouting, waiting his turn. You can see him, he's cheering his teammates on, and whenever he gets that opportunity, he's ready to play. He can shoot the 3-ball. You realize how big he is. He can go inside and score buckets, and he holds up his defensive end. So Tyler Robinson, like I said, he just stuck behind so much depth at that small forward position.
Well, there's a big game coming up after this as well, and Joe Healy and Andrew Gaze are courtside for that one. Now, guys, unfortunately, the second half of this one looks like it could be a little tough. We're hoping we're going to see some good stuff out there tonight.
Oh, exactly right, Felix. It should be an absolute cracker. The 36ers have been flying, Drewy, but also the Jack Jumpers, they've had a couple of good wins recently. What are you expecting for this one?
Yeah, I'm liking the way the Jack Jumpers are going about it right now. Huge win last week over Melbourne United, and that for whatever reason, the Jackies do really well against the Adelaide 36ers, so we're expecting a lot out of them. When Will Magnay plays like he did last week, career high 27 and 13, they are very tough to beat.
Well, Anthony Drumick suiting up for the Jack Jumpers as well. It's the first time they've got their full squad. I spoke to Flynn Cameron before the game. He said it's tough to beat a team 3 times in a row. Do you reckon they can do it?
Well, it is, but this has been a funny season, and absolutely they can do it. But there's a lot of challenges out there. Each night in, night out, we've got that uncertainty of result. And this one here with the Adelaide 36ers won 12 out of the last 13. That is very tough to do in this very, very tough league.
No, they're flying at the moment. We cannot wait for this one, guys. The Adelaide Entertainment Centre is going to be packed. We'll see you later for it.
We cannot wait. It's one of the best places to go. And Damon, did you know that? I reckon there's a chance that Andrew Gaze has the most frequent fly points out of anyone in this country.
He'd have to.
If you ever get a chance for him to show it to you, it's amazing. He doesn't spend them at all. He just cashes them all up. Well, hey, we got a second half coming up now, and hopefully for the viewers, for the Breakers, for fans of basketball in general, New Zealand can fight their way back into this game. They trailed by 29 after a disastrous second quarter, but if the Kings keep that defense up, it could get ugly.
Want to hook up you and your mates with the ultimate NBL VIP experience?
Here's what Bunnings has got for your crew.
to hook up you and 4 mates and to now.
Welcome back to Spark Arena. You'll be smiling anywhere if you're a Sydney Kings fan, and hopefully you're looking with optimism. Is he eating that hot dog sideways?
He's got eating the bread first.
What the hell's going on there? My man's eating a hot dog sideways.
Looks delicious too.
Hey, Cam.
What are they costing there, Cam?
Cam, I don't want to alarm you, but there's a man eating a hot dog sideways in the crowd there.
No, I saw it. I'm deeply disturbed, just like you guys are. But listen, the Breakers, they need a reset. They need to forget about that 20 minutes and come out with some mojo to their game. If they can get some D-glass and go run it down the other end before Sydney Kings can set up their defense, I think that goes a long way. But I sat in the Sydney Kings timeout as they're up 30, and they're still trying to find solutions. They're still trying to tinker. That's a very determined team, and one that's going to be hard to catch up on.
It is very hard to miss 17 out of 18 three-pointers. You got to figure, let's the law of percentages, that this half, they will shoot the ball like you would expect a professional team to shoot it.
There is a chance if you were actively trying to miss, you'd still accidentally make two. The Breakers with a world of work to do. The Sydney Kings right now playing fantastic on the defensive end, forcing the Breakers into these tough shots on the outside. PJC, the drought continues. Kendrick Davis with just the 5 points to his name, second league leading scorer. Gets his first chance here and cashes it. Nothing but net.
And here we go. 3-zip already by the Breakers this quarter.
Again, some shot clock issues in venue. As Baker janks that one off the back of the iron. Some shot clock issues in venue means we can't get the feeds through. So you just have to rely on me.
And you heard Tyler Roberson say at halftime to Cam Glidden, they're the worst three-point shooting team in the league. So we're gonna live with it. So it's up to the Breakers to change that narrative by making shots.
Lopez steps back. That's good. Much needed bucket from the outside.
Now it's the defensive end, Felix. They need to put together one of those 12, limit the Kings about 12 to 14 points this quarter to give themselves any real chance.
What's the magic number to get within by three-quarter time for you? We've seen some 20-point comebacks in the last quarter so far this season. Robertson can't convert from the outside.
14. Get it down to 14, they got life.
I think they can do it from 15. Lopez, they need to light a spark. Get the home crowd involved. Jabs down, 7 seconds on the shot clock. Nice pass to who slams it on the head of Suarez!
How many times is Suarez gonna get dunked on by people today?
Amy replay. You could forgive Suarez for not expecting Brockington to go up with such ferocity. 2 feet, 1 hand.
USA
all up
got
in your
beef.
face.
USA got beef with Brazil too.
Oh,
everybody
man.
got beef with Brazil today. I seen Isaiah dunking in the warm-ups pre-game, obviously, and if there was a dunk contest, he wouldn't come last.
Remarkable quick bounce. Now you rattles that one out. And the Breakers need something magical in that last play. If there's anything that's going to spark some momentum. Baker can't finish. PJC neither, and the Kings are out the other way. Robertson, that's his go-to. Wow. Cashes it.
Is it ever?
Momentum stifled.
2 missed layups by the Breakers. Transition. Robertson, another 3-ball.
As the coaches would say, that's a 5-point swing. Lopez steps back, heavily contested.
I'd rather just see Kareem just shoot it. Instead of trying to go and get into your bag, just catch it and shoot it. You can see how Kings are defending. They want you to shoot threes. So just go ahead and pull.
And you see there with the 3-pointers, the Breakers, I believe one of them was actually called back to a 2.
Yeah, it was.
So we're sitting at 2 for 22. Shout out to Richie Beno. Skip pass for Brockington. Baker. Cashes it.
And Rob Baker is the one guy that can knock threes down on a regular basis. And the law of percentages say it's sooner or later.
Percentages do suggest that the Breakers will have a better shooting half than they did in the first. Daly tries his luck from outside. That's no good. Robertson, back-to-back triples from him.
Said earlier, Tyler started this game shooting 47% from 3. And not on a small sample size, neither. And now he's 4 of 6 from 3. It don't matter what stadium you put Tyler Robertson in, he's knocking down 3 balls.
And he was a sought-after signature coming out of college. You got to remember that he's been playing behind some very, very good basketball players. This guy's got a very strong career ahead of him. And as he said in his chat at halftime with Cam Glidden, you know, he wants these guys to get back into the team, but this is the sort of opportunity that he's been waiting for, and he's grabbed it with both hands tonight.
Did he just get subbed out?
That's nasty work from Brian Goff.
That is.
that is nasty work to sub the young fella off when he's on fire. But you know what? He's been doing this a lot longer than me, and I won't question it. Lopez in the middle of the paint, too easy.
Good to see him around the basket. Every time he's around the basket, something good happens. Parker got his ball screen trapped. Found Lopez underneath the hoop for an easy dunk.
Brockington gets it slapped away, and point the steal there from Galloway. Nice pass to Davis, even better pass there to Suarez, who finally, after getting dunked on twice, gets a bit of the action himself.
Yeah, stand up for Brazil. Good job by Tim Suarez. Just keep playing. And all big guys know at some point everybody's going to get dunked on at some point. Good extra pass by KD. Lopez with
almost
the foul.
Training drill type stuff there from the Sydney Kings.
We're talking about the number that New Zealand need to get to make it a game. What's the number the Kings need to get to put the entire bench on? Or is this the entire bench, pretty much?
Very confident, looking despondent right now with what he's seeing out there from his team. The worst second quarter they've had as a franchise. Baker. Galloway pressured in the backcourt. Davis will find it. Almost at the halfway point of the third term. 30-point margin. It'll take something special. Something just like that from Maliwach, except it's at the wrong end for the Breakers.
I was just going to say there was a lot of standing around watching Kendrick dribble. The Maliwach back cut once again, got himself another deuces. Parker, no good from the mid-range. Phoenix, with this 32-point deficit, I want to take this opportunity to say happy birthday to my father-in-law, John Arnott. Happy birthday, John. He's a first ballot Hall of Famer and the father-in-law of the year, that kind of stuff. Level 8.9 on the young man. It's kick and go.
Wow. He lucked out getting you as a son-in-law as well. You're one of the most unproblematic humans I know. You run every day. You love your wife. I think he got lucky as well. Galloway in transition, a nice finish.
Get some rest, John. This game is over.
Yeah, get some rest, John. God damn, 89.
Good Lord, man.
It's 7 p.m. You better get to bed now.
What is the biggest deficit that you've lost by? I mean, New Zealand, this is when Frederick Copeland just looks at his team and goes, do you guys like basketball? Like, I don't know what else to say. Like, it don't matter what plays you draw up. This has nothing to do with X's and O's anymore. When you're down by 36, it's clearly pride. And right now, the Breakers are not showing enough of it.
We've seen great and we've seen terrible this year. Let's listen to Brian Goorjian here.
Your rollouts are great. This thing, hey, it's the defense, it's the spacing, and it's quick decisions. You're doing a great job with that. The plugs, keep plugging. No second shot so far this quarter. Great job. On the Blues, they're going to slip out. Make sure you communicate them. Communicate them early. Hey, first couple minutes here. Here we go.
Don't think for a second that Brian Goorjian has lost any of his coaching intensity, his coaching enthusiasm. The man's a lifer.
And you know, we always hear criticism of coaches ever since we've got the technology to go into the huddles and we have them mic'd up. It's always a pleasure to listen to Brian Goorjian's timeouts because he's always saying something of substance. He's always saying it with energy, and how lucky we are to have him back in this league after such a storied career overseas, his time with the Boomers. And anyone that's been around Brian when it comes to media, he'll give interviews to radio stations that probably aren't at the level that you'd be getting interviews from him. It really is just a remarkable man. We're extremely lucky in Australian basketball to have him. Lopez. Nice pass there to Rob Lowe. The finish did not match the pass. A dominant performance so far from the Sydney Kings, and we can talk all we want about the Breakers being 3 for 24 from the three-point line, but undermanned with two of their best defenders, their two best defenders. The Sydney Kings have packed the paint and not allowed anything through the middle and forced the Breakers into these tough shots. Brockington converts a mid-range.
Brockington's going to keep playing. I mean, there's guys playing for probably different reasons. Hey, Cam, I don't know where you go from here because this loss is looking inevitable. Do you think guys' spirit are broken? Are they, like, I don't even know what to even say, Cam, but right now, it's looking like a team that wants the season to hurry up and finish.
Yeah, I mean, it does look a bit like that. I think the belief to win this game is definitely gone. But we've seen the Breakers bounce back. You know, they're a team that has been very inconsistent all year. And sometimes you count them out and they surprise you. Sometimes you think they've got one in the bag and it goes the opposite way. So I think the belief is definitely out of this one. And I think the best thing Coach Kopp might want to do is rest some guys, see what some of the young fellas, the bench players can do. on a stage like this and just keep the Stars injury-free, as would be my opinion.
Yeah, we've all had games, Fetus, where it's just one of those days where you just get blown out. Blowouts happen in basketball, but you get blown out like this at home, Cam's right. Like, you know, ain't no point beating a dead horse.
And I'm with Cam in the way that the Breakers have played some fantastic games this year. They can come out next week and beat the Adelaide 36ers. But their worst, their bottom, has proven to be really, really poor. And they get to a bottom level below a lot of other teams in this league. And it's just that consistency to not have these type of performances. Quack Noy just continues to knock him down from the outside. He's up to 16 points.
And the Kings go to 8 from 17 from downtown, as if they were shooting it back home. And this is the 4th and last time these two teams play each other.
Webster, 10 seconds on the shot clock. Diverts to Lopez, who loses it. Unconvincing stuff on offense right now from the Breakers. Off the back iron, Galloway. Both Galloway and Noy in transition. Lopez shows a little bit of fight and swats it away.
Credit to Kareem for not giving up on the play. Somebody is always watching. There are NBA GMs watching this game to see how does the youngster play in a blowout? How does the youngster play when the game isn't going his way?
He's got a great head on his shoulders as well. As you see there, the ownership for the New Zealand Breakers, as you can imagine, not smiling ear to ear with what he's seeing at the moment. But I will say that the Breakers are putting the right things in motion, making the team more New Zealand focused off the court, building a New Zealand roster on the court. So what they are doing overall is certainly heading in the right direction. This game alone is certainly not indicative of what they're doing as a franchise.
I don't know the contract status of a few of the Kiwis who's currently in the league, like a la Finn Delaney, Sam Wardenberg.
And that's the next step. The next step is getting
big name.
You've got your Sam Menengas, but you want to get your Yanni Wetzels back. You want to get your Finn Delaney's, but you need to be a franchise that they want to come to. And I strongly believe that with the new ownership and the hands that they're in, that they will get to that point. It just won't be in the next quarter. Brockington. Through to the middle, Lopez turns down the 3. Webster off the back iron.
And we've seen teams go through shooting droughts. You know, even Southeast Melbourne Phoenix can make 17 threes one game and then struggle to make 4 or 5. But the Breakers have not been a good three-point shooting team for the entire season. And I'm almost positive they shoot threes in training. So this is just kind of
quite
a little bit mystifying to me.
Quite Noy, just a pleasure to watch when he's going to the rim. Long steps, extension in the arms.
Good score. Just saw smart of me by putting him in my Supercoach team this round. Appreciate it, Quad.
Don't forget, it's the 100-year tour for the Harlem Globetrotters. These guys came out, if you were around the precincts when the NBA teams were out here, very few people are professional entertainers like the Harlem Globetrotters when they come out. If you've got kids, get them down because they get everyone involved. It's a remarkable show, June 20 to July 19. And it's not just Australia, it's in New Zealand as well. So they're going all over. And they are absolutely fantastic. I really cannot speak high enough about how these guys engage with the kids that are there. It's fun for the kids, it's fun for the adults. It's a really remarkable show. And there's a reason, David, they've been around for 100 years.
Yeah, I was just going to say they've been trotting around the globe for a century. It never gets old, never gets sick of seeing them. I'm going to need to know the Breakers' all-time lowest score in the history of the franchise.
You might see it again. You got to hang around long enough.
You got to find something to play for.
Webster swats it away.
Luethuan gets some playing time. We saw a little bit of him already. He's got one of the best techniques on the jump shot that we've seen. Number 21. Hopefully he can get some good looks.
Matched up with Davison here. That one rattles in finally. Another one falls for the New Zealand Breakers.
That will feel real good to Sean Bairstow. Only shooting 14% this season. And Shawnee Bruce missing a layup in trans.
Under a minute remaining in the third term, where the Kings have just continued to push this game out of reach. Davison off the front iron, and a foul called on Sean Bruce.
5-7. Grab.
Yeah, with a 37-point deficit, Brian Gorge is looking down the bench saying, look, I don't want this game to turn into complete rubbish from our end. So he's going to keep some veterans on the floor just so no bad habits really creep in. They don't want to be playing down to the Breakers level at this stage.
Low up top, nice pass to Tarangi. Besto, nice Euro step baseline, a good finish.
Good to see the Breakers on the bench still cheering and clapping and being engaged with the team on the floor, because they all got to wear this one as a unit.
Shot clock is off, 6 seconds remain. Sean Bruce up top. Goodrich screen, sent away. Alone. Didn't have the eyes on the shot clock there for the young fella. That's something that he'll learn as he continues to play in this league and develop. But again, another disastrous quarter there for the New Zealand Breakers. The Sydney Kings with a monstrous lead of 35 points. The final term coming up next. Welcome back to Spark Arena. 2 feet, 1 hand, same defender. Tim Suarez, he's been baptized a couple of times tonight, but it doesn't matter because he, barring an absolute miracle, he got his own there, will be leaving this venue a winner because the Sydney Kings have been utterly dominant. 35 points is the margin. Without Paul Quoll, without Xavier Cooks, no worries. The players have stepped up and the Sydney Kings have been next to perfect this game. Cam Glidden, what are you seeing courtside?
Yeah, just in the Breakers huddle with Coach Cobb, they're trying to salvage anything out of this game. JG. And they've gone all local lineup, and it was a little bright spark for Sean Bairstow getting some minutes and doing a great job.
Certainly, I'm sure we're going to see plenty of the benches of both teams getting late into this game as Webster will chase down his own rebound and a nice little finish.
And that was a set play the Kings ran to get Jaden Galloway on the back door for that dunk. And Cam pointed it out. I think we would have noticed it at some point, but this is 5 Kiwis on the floor.
Oh, side of the backboard action there. Talk about going from a nice little baseline dunk to that, Damon.
He won't hesitate to shoot the next one. And Brian's got 4 of his starters on the floor. So he's like, nah, you guys are not just going to be able to put your feet up just yet. Give me another few minutes.
We've seen some crazy comebacks this year in the NBL. This would be the craziest of all. And Suarez can't convert that, but he'll fight and get his own board. Jelly. The seas parting. And his trademark floater, adding another 2 points to this massive margin. Big win here for the Sydney Kings. Again, barring a miracle.
And percentages on the line.
Perth playing Southeast Melbourne this week as well. That's the team that they're most likely fighting around.
And that's what I have to keep reminding myself, that percentage counts, because we saw Melbourne United a few years ago miss out on the last play, last shot of the season. So Brian's got his boys out there because all points are good points.
Only the 8 points on the night for the man who currently sits second in points per game in the NBL, Kendrick Davis. This game really felt like one of the ones where, with the injuries, with the outs, that Kendrick would have to come out. You mentioned a 40-piece, which he hasn't had so far in his career. But it really hasn't been that way at all. They've stepped up and they've done it by committee, and they've mostly done it on the defensive end.
And the game got off to that kind of start that the Breakers said, we're not going to let Kendrick go to work. But they forgot how to score points themselves.
Don't forget the league leaders, Kendrick Davis's former team, the Adelaide 36ers, who could be one of the most entertaining watchers in the last couple of seasons in the NBL, will take on the Tassie Jack Jumpers. And the Jack Jumpers, Damon, will be watching this game fairly happy that New Zealand are getting belted.
And this, yeah, not only them, the Perth Wildcats, they got the Southeast Melbourne Phoenix. And like I said, it's all these losses, there's ramifications for everything.
The ladder really starting to take shape in the latter stages of this season. We see it every single year that it's going to come down to the last couple of games. The parity across the league, especially with the top 6. Nice pass, cross court from Davis and Robinson. Gives it up top. Nice finish.
They're taking them P155, the Kings. They're looking like the Harlem Globetrotters themselves.
6 players in double figures at the moment for the Kings, doing it by committee.
Tarangi gets a 3-ball to go. Cuts the deficit to 35.
1,900 career points for Ruben Tarangi. Not the game that you want to be hitting any sort of milestone in, but been a real stalwart of the league. Spent a lot of time in the Breakers, Southeast Melbourne Phoenix. Played his trade there for a while. As we look at the Amy replay here.
Here's a Brisbane Bullet as well.
Brisbane Bullet for a while.
And the replay just shows the great ball movement and unselfishness by the Kings. And Ruben Tarangi answers back on the other side. I'm trying to find something, if I'm the Breakers, to play for.
Probably the however many thousand that have paid their hard-earned money to sit in the stands, I would imagine.
That's always one, but like, you know, something, you needed some type of goal. Can we hold them under 100? Can we, you know, can we get to 70 ourselves? It's no good.
UH can't convert that one.
Hit it.
Breakers' next game is at the Illawarra Hawks, who playing some pretty good basketball, Damon, especially with the Twin Towers, which we spoke about. Sam Froling and JaVale McGee, it's a look that not a lot of other teams can provide, and what it does is it forces the opposition to actually coach and scout the game, something different than they come up against elsewhere. Mike, I know you're always biasly high on the Illawarra Hawks, but I think they're going to have a pretty strong run at the end of the year.
Well, did you see the game against Southeast Melbourne Phoenix?
I saw parts of it.
Yeah, they gave up 124 points. Teams that give up that many points, it's hard to win. And yeah, you're right. I'm rapt to see the 2 7-footers out there, Sam and JaVale. They didn't get utilized as well as they could have late in that game. As Ty Webster gets his mid-range to go.
Andrew Gaze and the crew all ready to go over there in Adelaide. Stick around. We'll wrap this game up for a little bit. We're going to head straight over to the Adelaide Entertainment Centre. They pack that thing out every week. It is sold weeks in advance. The league is at its best when Adelaide are playing well.
And Adelaide are playing as well as we've seen in quite a while. They're trying to fly under the radar a little bit, which is impossible when you're on top of the ladder, but they just keep finding ways to win.
right now. Adelaide and Southeast Melbourne, clearly the two teams to beat in the competition, with Melbourne just on a remarkable slide after starting 9-0. The former ladder leaders losing 7 of their last 9. Sky Webster with a nice finish.
Yeah, that needs to be studied. The Tasmania Jack Jumpers are finally a whole roster. Anthony Drimmick is suiting up, as Drury says, so it'd be good to see how he fits in.
If you're Petteri Koppinen, Damon, you know, you're almost, mathematically, you're still a chance to play in the finals, but you're not going to do any damage if you do. How do you approach the post-game here? And does Petteri have to worry about his position as the coach of this team?
Of course he's got to worry about his position. And post-game, it's not about throwing the furniture around no more as this game. It's, you know, these guys are embarrassed. They've already embarrassed themselves on their own home court. I would just leave them to their devices, see you at training, and don't expect any basketballs to be at training. Because we have to make it up to the basketball guys for what we just dished up. And then we move on, as Petteri Koppinen likes to say, and then we move on.
A 34-point lead to the Sydney Kings halfway through this final term in what has been a dominant performance by that man right there. Extremely well coached on the defensive end, this team, undermanned with their 2 best defenders out. And we look at the ladder there, Damon Lowry. The Kings currently sitting in 4th, and they just edge 1 game closer, still with a game in hand, to Melbourne United in that 3rd spot.
And like I said, they're trying to rack up some percentage points. The bigger the win, more percentage points you get. Hey, Cam, the crowd is still up and clapping. You got to give a shout out to the DJ. Nobody's leaving early.
Yeah, man. Well, yeah, it's still pumping in here, boys, and the Breakers are still giving a great effort. I just sat in the Kings timeout, and it's just amazing to see Gorge just directing traffic, demanding excellence even when they're up by this insurmountable margin. It just goes to show the demanding of excellence and what he wants from his team. He knows there's more at play. The finals are coming, and he wants to have this team humming by then.
Well, it looks like he'll have just that. Of course, Xavier Cooks to come back into the lineup with Bull Qual out, who will be their best defender and probably 2nd best offensive player. You got to give Kendrick Davis his flowers in that, Damon.
100%. Sean Bruce just picked up a flop warning for taking it in the chest. Could have been a charge. Is there a difference between a flop warning and the referee just telling you to get up?
Yeah, officially there would be.
Is there a hand signal that says get up? Just get up, man. Like,
one of them's.
Does every time you fall and don't get the call, every fall isn't a flop warning, is it?
No, I think you got merit there. It's just like every block charge call doesn't have to be a call. Sometimes there's contact and you fall to the ground. Sydney's next 5 games: Melbourne, potentially a tough one. Brisbane, you'd expect them to take care of that. Tasmania, Adelaide, Illawarra, those 2 going to be 2 tough games, round 18 and round 19. But, Damon, they're all at home.
Those could be 5 L's. They could be 5 dubs. This league is that crazy. It could be. I mean, later as the season goes on, teams, when they realize that they're not going to be playing postseason, all of a sudden they start playing with heart. We see it all the time. You just never know what's going to happen.
It's all about timing that run towards the end. And Melbourne United started hot, struggling. I'm sure they'll be able to work their way out of this run at some point. They'll be a dangerous proposition if they do fall down the standings come playoffs to that sort of 4th, 5th range. The Sydney Kings could be timing their run very, very well. They'll have to do it without Bull Qual. There's still plenty of talent left on this roster. Maluach has come in and been able to play a fantastic defensive role.
3 black.
And we see Grok. I don't want to butcher the last name. Maluach. First run could be of the season. So let's see what his game is like. I'm not familiar with his game. Obviously good enough to be in the roster, so let's see what he can do in his last 3.5 minutes, because there's no such time as jump time when you are a development player or you're a bench player. This is where you get your reps.
We've seen a lot of players come in as the bench players, get a little opportunity this year and really grab it with both hands.
Okay, you can already see offensive activity on the offensive glass. You can already see that.
And a bucket from deep. 55-92, utter dominance from the Sydney Kings. Undermanned, no worries at all. Menenga. Cashes one from the outside. Just the 5 points, now up to 8 for Sam Menenga.
Well, they got 48 hours. They got to go on the plane tomorrow. They got to go to Illawarra, who is also coming off a stinging loss in a different kind of a fashion. That game could be real lively. Sean Bruce no good from the corner.
Goodrick will put it back in.
Nice shot.
And then a timeout here.
Who called this timeout?
Whoever it is should be criminally charged.
It should be an automatic tech foul.
Coaches are coaches. They all work in their weird ways. And
say it while the game is going on from the sideline. You ain't got to stop the game to say whatever you got to say.
Oh, don't forget Adelaide and Tassie coming up. Adelaide, the top team in the league. And that man you see on screen right there, what a superstar season he's having. Need I say anything about the man that's just popped up there in Bryce Cotton? But Flynn Cameron, Melbourne United, you know, they had the chance to keep him. He went off searching for more money and he found it in Adelaide. Then Adelaide recruited Bryce Cotton. A lot of people thought, oh, geez, that opportunity that he went searching for is not going to be there. Well, it doesn't matter because by sheer force and talent, he's put his way into that lineup, and my God, is he having himself a good season.
I concur. Mike Wilson's done a great job with Flynn. That three-guard rotation, that three-guard starting lineup. And Flynn has a skill that just transfers to wherever you go. He can just shoot the ball.
Incredibly talented individual. Of course, the pedigree's there as well from his father, Pero Cameron, a superstar. New Zealand's next 5 games. You look at them right there. What do you think, Damon?
They got the Hawks on Sunday. So they got to go in the locker room, feel sorry for themselves for maybe an hour. And then tomorrow they got to go on the plane. They got to fly to Sydney, get the cars, get down to the Gong, and they got to make amends.
Hey, some look forward to Christmas, Hanukkah, all types of holidays that are out there. You know what I look forward to?
What?
This one. We'll call it Larrymas. Hoops Fest in Perth. It's back and it's at the perfect time of the season, starting on Thursday, 15th to the 18th of January. This is going to be remarkable. Scan the QR code if you want to make your way out there. Perth puts on a show. You've got the Sneakerland event going on. It's a real mix of culture, and not only is it just the NBL this year, but it's the WNBL as well.
Yeah, I can't wait. I sat out last year's Hoop Fest. I had all type of FOMO. Everybody was raving about it. So I finally get my shot this year.
Oh, you're going to love it.
Can't wait.
And the basket's going to count there. We see the smile.
Liking Gok, I can see why the King, Brian Gorge, and his staff like this young dude.
There's a little bit. We saw him chase down a rebound. A nice, tough finish there. And you've got to credit the young fella. You're coming in late in the game. You've been sitting the whole time. It's tough to bring energy in that situation.
He's got a bounce about him, a liveliness about him.
There's a lot of players that are sitting around benches of various clubs, especially those towards the upper end of the ladder, that just may not get the opportunities due to the sheer talent that sits ahead of them.
Expansion, Felix.
Expansion. I'm
We
Polish,
need
right?
expansion. We've never needed it more than we need it now. I mean, the Southeast Melbourne Phoenix got 11 guys averaging double-figure minutes.
Lopez out there. Chronic just got away with a little hook there. Under 2 minutes remain in what's been a forgettable night for the New Zealand Breakers. Goodrick. Nice controlled dribble. Cashes that one from the corner, Luthwan.
Tell you, man, I've seen that man shoot the ball. That is a beautiful stroke. And Jack Andrews checked in for some run as well as Taylor Britt.
Nice little left-hand scoop finish there from Britt.
Had a good Tall Blacks campaign in the Asia Cup, Taylor Britt.
Galloway. Under a minute remains. What a performance by the Sydney Kings. A little too handsy there on the contact. And Hunter Goodrick will go to the line.
Takar Cooper comes in, gets on the stat sheet, unfortunately with a foul. And these are the guys you're not going to see a whole lot of. But Perry Copeland is giving some guys some reps, and these guys are training too.
And what you want to see now is, and I'm sure you'll see it from both teams, is you want to see the starters up on the bench giving these guys the same sort of energy that they give them when they're in the game.
And the coaches as well. The coaches, you don't stop coaching just because you got your DPs and bench guys on the court.
Of course, it's hard to show too much energy when you're losing by 38 points. Free throw off for Hunter Goodrick.
Would Hunter Goodrick have much competition in the season Kings Awards night for Coaches Award?
Well, he wouldn't have much competition for best looking player as well. Talk about being a rooster. He's got the beard going, got the hair flowing. He'd be loving life in Sydney, I imagine.
Not many people saw the Hunter Goodrick season coming.
No, but Ace,
he has earned every one of the minutes that he gets.
And he's a guy that, teams are going to be looking towards the back end of this season. People leave for opportunity at times, and there's going to be plenty of opportunity somewhere for Hunter Goodrick.
Coop, get one!
Clock winding down. Sean Bruce, the wily old agitating veteran, still out there. What a service he's provided to the Kings. Some big shots over the years. Gotten under the skin. Tries it on the outside. Can't complete that one. Shot clock is off. The foul there will send Jack Andrew to the line.
I'm glad Kareem passed that. He could have easily shot that shot, but when you get guys on the court who barely play, you want to get them guys a bucket. So now Andrew's got to get his bucket from the strike.
And that's a nerve-wracking spot. And you can see the nerves in that one. Can he convert this second one? That man right there's had a night.
Both of those guys.
Oh, and the unlucky roll. That's what happens when you got to sit there and get cold for a long time. But hopefully, as the seasons progress, you'll get the chance to get in a little earlier in the game. 6 seconds remain. Both these teams doing all they can to drag this game out a little bit, Damon. Adelaide and Tassie not far away. Galloway. Gok put one up, foul, and he'll go to the line. Both teams are refusing to let this game finish and get up to the top of the table. Adelaide 36.
That pretty much sums up the game for the Breakers. Fouling the shooter with literally no time left in the game.
But credit to...
Luckily, Felix, it's only one loss. You don't get 2 losses for this.
Well, you know what? There's probably maybe an argument you can make for deserving to be 2 losses. Credit to Gok Manuel, who's come in late in this game, got himself a rebound. 2 points, chance to take it to 4 here.
And that is a nice shooting stroke, too.
Really nice shooting stroke. It's athletic, moves well. It's got some promise. Converts the second.
He wanted the 3. He's like, I got 5.
He wanted the 3 as well. He's saying. The young fella doesn't want to give that up. What a performance. Dominance from the Sydney Kings. 41 points. The New Zealand Breakers fighting to stay within reach of 6th spot in the finals berth. Come up with very little in front of their home crowd, and the Kings undermanned. No Paul Quall, no Xavier Cooks. They're 2 defensive stalwarts. They put in one of their performances of the year. Packed the paint. Forced the New Zealand Breakers to go 6 of 37 from the 3-point line. Remarkable performance, Dave.
Did what they had to do. Came in with a game plan. It worked to perfection, and the game was over with by the half. New Zealand had no answers. And like you said, when you shoot the ball as poorly as they did, there's just nothing you can do except just wait for the game clock to end. And luckily, no one got hurt.
The man who we thought would probably have this game right on his shoulders, considering the ounce, was Kendrick Davis. And he wasn't bad by any stretch. 10 points to his name, 7 assists. Still had himself a very, very strong game, but remarkable to see the Kings. A bit of a warning shot to the competition on what they're capable of.
Got to rest his legs. Nobody played over except Malawach played 28 minutes. Everybody else should have some fresh legs going into the next game and this flight back home.
Tyler Robertson got the surprise start in this game, starting at the 4, going undersized. Let's go down to Cam Glidden with the Foot Locker player of the game.
Take your time, Cam.
Take your time. I'm here with Kawat. Foot Locker player of the game, 18 points, 7 rebounds, mate. Few soldiers down, but like you always do, when the occasion is there, you always rise up and take the game over. Do you take pride in that?
Yeah, for sure. First of all, all glory to God. We knew we were undermanned when we first came here, so you know we have to get contribution from everyone on the roster. So that's what we did.
You're a confidence man. You've got elite confidence in yourself and your team. You've got a 5-game homestand. How many of those 5 are you going to win?
All 5, hopefully. You know, we've got a quick turnaround. We've got Melbourne coming up, a tough team. So you know, we got to get our rest, head back, and lock in.
Commentary team talked about, we think you could start in any other team in the country. You choose or you don't choose. They take you off the bench. Must be a lot of character in you to fulfill that role. How do you feel about the role? And do you enjoy it? Do you see something greater in your future, or are you happy with where you're at?
No, I'm pretty confident, man. Just got to put in the work. I know my time will come. Still not in my prime yet, so when that time comes, best believe I'll shine.
Awesome. Last thing, Damon Larry wanted to shout you out. He had you in the Supercoach team. Any message for him? keep me on, Damon, or, you know, I'll chill out next week. Any message for Damon?
No, yeah, appreciate you, man. But, you know, they said, you know, I wasn't the 6th man of the year. They got some other candidates, but I just got to let you know, man, you got to put some respect on my name.
Oh, no. Hey, that was directly to you. That was directly to you, Damon.
Big shot, Quad. I had him for 6th man last year, and I got him for 6th man this year.
Oh, and I'll tell you what, I hate to be the techie on call right now, because that wasn't just a mic drop. He threw that thing into the ground. Oh, man, you know what the best thing about Kwatnoi is? It's that sort of confidence. He comes out. We saw him miss. There's probably a 4-shot stretch there where he missed, but it didn't matter. He keeps going to the rim and he keeps scoring, and I'll tell you what, I love the fact that he is looking out for that starting spot eventually somewhere, and he says, when I get that, I'll shine. I can't wait. I'll tell you what it's given me. It's given James Harden at Oklahoma City. And then he got out of that, and then he just shone and became a superstar. That's the potential that Kwatnoi has.
But hopefully he gets more than what Harden got, because Harden never got the ultimate prize, the title, and that's what Kwat wants. He wants a chip.
Oh, there he is, getting the photos as well. Absolutely unbelievable.
Has anybody ever dropped the mic in NBL post-presser history?
I'm telling you now, he didn't drop the mic, my man. He threw the mic at the ground.
Put some respect on that man's name.
Oh, God, what a performance. We're going to cut to a break now. We're going to wrap up this game and look forward to Adelaide. The league leaders taking on Tasmania not too far away.
This program is brought to you by Hungry Jack's and Bunnings Warehouse.
A dominant effort from the Sydney Kings, who came into Spark Arena 2 games below Melbourne United in 4th place. They've closed that gap to within 1, and what more needs to be said? Mic drop. Quatnoy came in when they were undermanned, and as he has time and time again, a monster effort. And you look at that, it is not pretty at all. But the one we want to zone in right there, Damon, the 3-pointers. The Kings, they just forced them. They gave them no other option but to load them up from the outside.
Everybody in the league knows, everybody checks the stats, that the New Zealand Breakers do not shoot the ball well from 3. They actually are the 10th team shooting percentage.
That's a tough one to say, the 10th team.
The 10th team, they don't shoot the ball well from down there, and that is exactly what the Sydney Kings forced them to do. Prove that they can make threes. They couldn't make the threes. They couldn't get the stops, and the Kings did whatever they wanted. Sometimes you got to go a long way for a training session. The Kings turned that into a training session in New Zealand, so kudos to them.
I'll give you another T to get tangled up on here, Tyler Robertson, because he started in the 4. We both looked at each other and said, whoa, what's going on here? This is going to be tough. But he came out, he took his opportunity, grabbed it with both hands, he shot the ball very well.
He was
from the
awesome.
outside.
And let me just be clear, I was only surprised, not because that's not anything against Tyler, it's just that I thought that Jalen Galloway would just start.
What'd you say?
But Tyler has earned his absolute stripes. Like I said in the pregame, he came in shooting 47 from 3, and he came out in this game and knocked down 4 triples, no problem. He just plays whenever his name gets called. He holds up his end defensively. He can score from a variety of ways, a good ball handler. Reminds me of a young Frank Dremick.
Oh.
A young Frank Dremick, a 6'6", 6'7" guy that can play multiple positions. And Tyler, kudos to him. He waits his turn, and then the ball's out.
He's got the pedigree as well through his college basketball career that he's going to go on to be a very good NBL player. I'm certain of that, and it's all about getting opportunity, especially when you're in teams as stacked as the Kings are. What about Jalen Galloway? He was the one that you thought would probably work his way into the starting lineup. He didn't, but he still gave some very good minutes out there.
Yeah, I'm surprised a little bit, but Jalen, he's still Jalen Galloway by, no stretch. He's 16 points, 2 steals, and, he got a couple blocks. But Brian Gordon has that much depth at his disposal at that position. The guys just have to wait their turn. And whenever Jalen gets out there, Jalen's still only a young dude, 22 years old, if I'm not mistaken, 23 max. He's still a reliable guy that you can bring off the bench. This goes to show you how spoiled the Kings are.
And you say you're surprised when you hear he's so young. It's because he's a guy that's always been around. And we get confused sometimes that there's guys that go to college and they go away for 4 years and they come back, they just seem a lot older. So it's...
Yeah, he hung out with the Milwaukee Bucks for an off-season.
Did see that.
If he didn't get hurt with the shoulder, who knows what could have happened.
Who knows? Well, maybe there's another opportunity. Still got the age to get there. But, hey, we've got a blockbuster game coming up. The Adelaide 36ers. It's showtime whenever they take the floor. And we got one of the best commentary crews in the business to join us. Look at that. Joe Healy, Peter Hooley and Andrew Gaze. I'll tell you what, if I could choose, if this was a Supercoach-style draft, this is probably who I'd go with.
Good evening to you guys. Talk about being spoiled for quality and depth. I've got these two alongside me. But the Adelaide 36ers, mind you, they've won 12 of their last 13. They are rolling into this one tonight.
Oh, my word, they've been spectacular. And even this is a team, though, that would be testing them. For whatever reason, the Jack Jumpers have had their measure since coming into the competition. And it's always tough to beat a team 3 times in a season, so it's going to be a big test. But gee whiz, it's hard to say too much negative about the Adelaide 36ers when they've only got 4 losses on the season.
Well, the flip side of that for the Jack Jumpers, because this was a game that was going to be so important, but with New Zealand laying an absolute egg, if you can even call it that from what just happened, they kind of had a big of a free swing now, because that creates a bit more space, maybe a bit of pressure off. So I cannot wait to see what a healthy Tassie, the way they beat Melbourne United, can come into this building and do. And fellas, I also think the highlight of this game won't be someone eating a hot dog sideways. I think we're going to have a lot more better highlights than what you just had to deal with.
Let's hope so.
Incredibly unfortunate what we just all had to witness, and we were all worse off for it. But that's why we've put together this game afterwards. I quickly want to ask you one to you, Gazy, because you played in venues, or in every basketball venue around the country, and you played in days where they could get a bit more liberal with what they were doing in the stands. What's the atmosphere like that out there at Adelaide? Because when I'm there, it's unbelievably hostile to the opposing teams.
Yeah, it's very special. And even over the last couple of seasons when they weren't doing so well, you can see that they were just wanting a team that they could get behind, and they very much got that here. They're very educated basketball fan base. They know a lot about the intricacies of the game, and even in the introductions, the way in which they identify some of the key players. It's a superb venue to play basketball. I don't know, as a fan or a player, you've got a better venue than this one here, because they're right on top of the court, really feel the emotion of it all, and they're rewarding the fans with some spectacular basketball on. By the way, Felix, it's Fan Appreciation Night here at the Adelaide 36ers, so a perfectly timed question for you. You are in form, Felix.
I'll tell you what, you want to know why he's fired up? We landed in Adelaide, we walked to the hire car, we got our hire car, we're sitting there, someone came to knock on the window. Oh, Mr. Gage, sorry, but we've just decided to upgrade you to the luxury one that we just had. Andrew,
the Mitsubishi it was.
Andrew turns around and says, it's all right, we don't need that. I said, bloody oath we do, Gazy, take it. We get to the hotel, only one elevator works. He goes, I don't want to worry about too many stairs. We'll put you on the ground floor, Drewy. Just exceptionally well looked after here.
That's treatment
And we're the Adelaide people.
I know, right?
Makes no sense.
What is going on?
No, it's beautiful though. Whenever the rental joint says, listen, you've got the choice of all these vehicles, we want the Mitsubishi every single day.
I hate to say it because I'm part of this generation, but they do not make them like they used to. They just, people like Gazy don't come around that often. Hey, Gazy, you guys enjoy. We got to go. Looking forward to hearing the call. It should be a cracking game.
Good on you, guys.
Hey, Damon, you're on fire because you said the New Zealand Breakers would win that one. Who are you saying is going to win Adelaide and Tassie?
No, I didn't. I didn't say that.
You said at the top. When
Maybe
they threw that ball up, I said, who wins Adelaide Tassie?
Tassie.
Tassie?
Upset.
God, come on, man. Come on. Hey, what a performance that was from the Sydney Kings, but an absolute blockbuster coming out right now. That man, Flynn Cameron, having the season of his life. Can the Jack Jumpers take it to top of the table, Adelaide 36ers?